You're listening to The Pete Shepard Show.
And good morning, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the Pete Shepard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. My goodness, this was an unbelievable weekend for college football and the National Football League. I have never seen anything like it in the NFL. The week one drama that happened, and I'm not talking about Thursday or Friday night, which we haven't even, we'll talk about Friday night's game as well in that pathetic stadium in Brazil. But the drama before week one, before Sunday's games kicked off, absolutely unbelievable. Huge show lined up for you today. I didn't book any guests today because a lot of people aren't available on Mondays. But it was just so much going on with college football and the NFL. There's so much video and audio I want to play for you that I didn't want to not so much water the show down with guests, because all my guests that come on here usually give valuable information. But this is one of those days where there's just so much to talk about. We don't need anybody except you and me and Angel Martinez. We'll get to Angel in a second. What a day. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out here on the Coastal Sports Network on the video platform. Follow me on Twitter, X at PShep326. There are still Facebook issues as far as the show being run. It has nothing to do with me or Angel or anything else. It's stupid Facebook. And with the service that we use, there's some nonsense going on in the background. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to rant and rave about it because it's not going to do any good. So when it comes back, it comes back. But all these other places you can see us, again, on Twitter, X, follow me at PShep326, SR1029 The Game, at SR1029thegame.com, powered by Ion TV, CSN Florida, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. You can call or text the show, 727-858-6650. There are so many headlines. I mean, starting on Saturday, Northern Illinois, just one of the upsets of the decade in South Bend. We'll get to that. The emotional reaction from their head coach, which was just so genuine, was awesome. A lot of other stories in college football, which we'll get to. But in the NFL, I just wrote down a whole bunch of stuff. Tyreek Hill, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Jamar Chase, Patriots offensive line. Sucks, right? Not so much. Falcons laying egg. Kirk Cousins was terrible. The Texas back to college football, crushing Michigan in the big house. The Jets at San Francisco tonight. And my question of the day, who sucked worse, Deshaun Watson or Daniel Jones? That's a good debate. That if you didn't see the highlights, who sucked worse, Deshaun Watson or Daniel Jones? It's close. It's close. And with that, we say good morning to Angel Martinez. So much to discuss, so little time. Plus, Angel had a big PA announcing debut up in Orlando. Did a great job. I saw some of the video that your wife posted on Facebook. Good job, Angel. Good morning, and welcome back to Tampa from Orlando. How are you?
Good morning, Pete. I'm doing well. And you talk about being a beyond nervous Nelly, because when I got to Camping World Stadium, they announced what some more stuff we're going to do as we had our press media meeting. And it was, let me first say, it was a lot of fun with the folks that were in the booth. We must have cut it up for the 3 or 4 hours that we were in there. We were having all kinds of fun because I got there at 2:45. Granted, the game wasn't until 7, but we had our press meeting at 3:30. And then after that, it was a lot of fun that we ended up having there. But the additional stuff they told me, here's what you're going to do. I'm like, all right, the pressure's already on, but sure, I'll put some more stuff on. And then some of the stuff that you guys don't get to know is that in obviously for us in the Spanish community, when you translate something from English to Spanish, as I was telling Pete off air, some things can be very condensed. Some things can get longer because you guys got to understand some sentences in American language, it's real short. For us, we got to expand it because you have to say it backwards and then bring it back forward. So it was fun. When I think originally it was like 10,000 tickets sold, ended up being over 18,000. It was close to 20,000 by the time the last count was done. And then the Upper Bowl was the only thing they didn't sell, just because they wanted to make sure that they didn't have people just kind of meandering everywhere. But man, was it a lot of fun. Got to call 4 goals, which was ended up in a draw, but it was such a fantastic crowd. And the Colombian crowd, I want to say, must have bought 10,000 tickets. And the folks from Mexico came with about 8,000. But it was such a great night. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's great. So proud of you. That's fantastic. So, unbelievable job. Unbelievable job. And you're right. And when you pay, if you're doing pay announcing, which I've never I did it once for a high school game way back, but but I know my friends who have done it for the Celtics, for the Patriots, and other professional organizations. It is a much more difficult job than people want to realize, and it's a lot of it is scripted. You have to say this, that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So, great job, Angel. June says, "Good morning, fellas. Have a good day. Congratulations on your your call, Angel. Great job. Nice, excellent." So, we're going to get to the NFL. I'll get to college football and the new rankings and all that stuff. The two big stories of college football over the weekend was obviously Texas going to the big house like I thought and just whacked them. I mean, just that was it was like two different teams were playing. Texas really took it to them. Their defense was outstanding, and Michigan's going to have a hard time making a 12-team playoff. There's no question about it. They will have a hard time. They'll get better, but that was you play. You could see exactly where they are, and it's only the first couple of weeks. But you can see the difference in talent in Texas and Michigan. And it's not even close. Not even close. And then Northern Illinois going into South Bend and beating Notre Dame, which we'll get to. Very emotional press conference afterwards around the field. It was great stuff. And it was really horrible how – and I don't want to take anything away from Northern Illinois. The Huskies doing a great job. Out of the MAC, the mighty MAC. You know how much I like the MAC, Angel. Can't wait for Tuesday and Wednesday Night Football to start again. But really, it was kind of like the loss that they had to Marshall a few years ago when Brian Kelly was the coach back then. That was, 4 or 5 years ago. They had a bad loss at home like that. So it has happened. I give Northern Illinois all the credit in the world, but a 28.5-point underdog goes into South Bend and wins outright. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. All right, we got so much stuff to get to. The Angels Eagles on Friday night, and that debacle of a stadium where it's amazing that somebody didn't get seriously hurt with slipping and sliding all over the field. It just wasn't good. It wasn't a good look for the NFL. We'll get to that, but I'm going to get to some of the games that happened. We're going to start right with everything, and I'm trying to get some video here. Yes. I have this audio cut, but Angel, let's just start. I'm going to start with the NFL and go right down the line here. If we could go scroll down on my Twitter page down to Awful Announcing, and let's start with Tennessee and Chicago. Now, here's the thing. Before you play the video, it says Mr. Biles getting in there. Yes, because this is Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens, is the one responsible for the momentum change, a big part of it, because Caleb Williams couldn't get out of his. He's a rookie. I heard Herm Edwards on ESPN National Radio yesterday around noontime, around 11:45, and he couldn't have been more wrong about Caleb Williams and couldn't have been more wrong about Deshaun Watson. He was ranting and raving about Deshaun Watson, and the host was trying to tell him, well, first of all, he's a rookie. You don't know what's going to happen. This pressure that Caleb Williams is supposed to light it up right out of the gate, I told you, people, is stupid. I don't care what's around him. It's going to take him some time. They got lucky and won the game because of special teams and defense. Caleb Williams will have his day. He'll get going. But the pressure that I heard this morning on Sports, Herm Edwards again, like he's shocked that Caleb Williams didn't do well. He's a rookie. He is a rookie. He's lucky. He's the first rookie since 2002 or 2000 since David Carr came in, the number 1 overall pick and won. First rookie quarterback. They don't win. I don't care what's around them. It's tough to win as a rookie your first game. It doesn't happen all that often. And then, then his take on Deshaun Watson. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And Dallas went in there, kicked their ass. I mean, absolutely kicked their ass. We'll get to the highlights in a second here, Angel, with one of the clips. I will say, recapping my pigskin picks yesterday or the whole weekend, 9-5-1. Pretty good. That's 63.3% heading into tonight's game. 9-5-1. If you listen to everything I said, I hope you didn't bet 15 games. But if you did, you came out ahead. My college football picks started off okay. Went 2-3 with my college football picks. My best bet, Auburn, laid the biggest dodo egg on the planet. I mean, just absolutely a horrific loss for Hugh Freeze and Auburn to California at home. Just no excuses. They were just awful. Give California credit. So my best bet lost. However, my underdog of the week won. It's a game I always will pick that I think the team will win outright, and Duke did that in double overtime on Friday night at Northwestern as a 2.5-point underdog. They won. So there you have it. All right, Angel, let's get it going first with Jonathan Owens, big special teams play for the Chicago Bears.
You said it was under awful announcing. I see the
No,
Bo Nix.
No, it's down a little. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5, 6 down. Hang on, let me see. I thought I had it. Hang on.
I know.
Maybe I might have looked at the wrong thing, Angel. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot. I didn't retweet. All right. You know what, Angel? Let's just go. Can we go to Total Sports Prep in the NFL? I'll just play the cut. First cut, right out of the gate. Mr. Simone Biles, a.k.a. Jonathan Owens, at the scoop and score in the third quarter in the Bears-Tennessee game.
Stonehouse with pressure, a block. It's scooped up by the Bears. Back the other way. Jonathan Owens, touchdown Chicago. Mr. Biles getting in there.
Mr. Biles, yes. 17-10 Tennessee, but Chicago came back, ended up winning the game. If we cut down to the second to last cut, Angel, Tyreek Stevenson picking off Will Levis, who also sucked yesterday as well.
Sure did.
On third down and 6, here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up, flings it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
That was awful. He did a little pitch like that. It was really, really awful. He was just pathetic. Honestly, and they are so lucky because the Bears only had 148 total yards of offense. That's it.
Yep. That's the one thing that drives me bananas. He does the same thing just like Jalen Hurts. Stop making something out of nothing. And it drives you bananas because Jalen Hurts will do the same. Like, oh, somebody's going to get it. Nope. Yeah, defense got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brett Favre used to do a lot of unorthodox things too. Half the time he got away with it. Half the time, especially towards the end, he didn't. Aaron Rodgers kind of the same way in his heyday. But yeah, but at least Jalen Hurts is one, he's a pretty established quarterback. Will Levis, he's awful. That was just awful. Meanwhile, Caleb Williams, cut number 2 there, Angel, on his NFL debut.
Yep. Come on.
No, it's great to get this first win. We're all excited. We went into the locker room, celebrated. I sat down, enjoyed the moment. And just watching all the guys celebrate, understanding that I need to be better, I will be better, and then just taking in the first win. It's unbelievable.
All right, and despite his ineptness, he wasn't very good, especially under pressure. He had a 19-yard sack early in that game by Tennessee, but he's a rookie, and he got bailed out by defense and special teams, and that's fine. I just don't understand. There's people out there, and we heard it all week long on ESPN and NFL Network about how this guy is going to light it up and they're going to win 12 or 13 games. I don't understand where these expectations are coming from in the national with rookies in the NFL. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, next up, I'm talking about my New England Patriots, and that was. Everything we heard all camp, and trust me, there's a lot of people eating a lot of crow today. Now, when I found out about Jamar Chase and, he had a little tummy issue and then he didn't know if he was going to play, then he was going to play and how often he was going to play. and T. Higgins was going to be out. What's the one thing we all heard, and we're talking about with the Patriots all preseason? How bad their offensive line is, how bad it is, how bad it is, how bad it is. Well, it looked pretty good to me. It's one game, and one game does not a season make. And yes, somebody said, well, they only scored 16 points, not going to win a lot. Yeah, if they play like that and their offensive line wins like that and they don't make a lot of mistakes, they might win a lot of games scoring 16 or 17 points because they dominated the Bengals in the trenches from start to finish. Stevenson had 120 yards on 25 carries, and Jacoby Brissett, no touchdowns and no interceptions, and didn't make many mistakes at all, didn't make a lot of bad throws. Patriots defense was outstanding yesterday. Joey Burrow, completion percentage-wise, 21 out of 29, but only 164 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. I mean, it was unbelievable. If you had told me that the Patriots would have a 10-0 lead in that game at halftime, and that I don't care what situation with the Bengals is on offense, they could not score. They couldn't move the ball. They went their first 3 possessions were 3 and outs, I believe. Amazing win by the Patriots on the road. Gerard Mayo, outstanding. I thought an outstanding debut as a head coach. And Angel, if we could now go to video on my Twitter page, there's a couple I do want to play reaction from this because let's see. Let's go down to first. I want to go down to Patriots coverage at NBC Sports Boston with Gerard Mayo and Teddy Johnson. Says today Gerard Mayo showed he's a good coach. If we could play that first, that would be fantastic.
If Gerard Mayo was a team, as who he was as a player, this is who they are. This is who they're built to be. Be tough, be in shape. I think, we haven't really talked about that, but we talked about the Patriots training camp. He pushed those guys, and they went the distance, and they look really good, and sometimes that's the difference on opening day.
You know what? You can push a team hard, in training camp if they believe in you, and I think, and a lot of the players,
good point.
They want to believe. They want to believe in this coach, and they. I'm sure. My guess is behind the closed doors, they all really like Gerard and the way he approaches his job. But at the end of the day, they don't really know what they have in him, and today he showed he was a good coach.
Yep.
And so if I'm this team, I'm looking at Gerard Mayo a little bit differently than I was yesterday, and that is a good sign for this team moving forward.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that I take away, and you hit on it, was belief. Mm-hmm. And so now they've gone through this transition, they've gone through this offseason, they have belief in what they're doing. It's proven. They went on the field and they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Angel, if we could scroll up 2 more from that. And this is Tommy Curran, my man, pride of St. Anselm, New Hampshire. And here's Tommy Curran's reaction to the Patriots win.
You got a new era of Patriots football that actually looks a lot in terms of winning like the old era of Patriots football. You got special teams, defense, extremely efficient offense, actually making sure that you're managing the game and playing to your strengths, masking your weaknesses. To me, I look at this Patriots team, and a lot of what Gerard Mayo and these Patriots were able to accomplish were what the best of Bill Belichick teams accomplished for 25 years. There is ample opportunity for a lot of players to get up there or say in the locker room. Maybe we'll see some quotes later. Nobody believed in us. Everybody thought we were a bunch of slappies. Both Gerard Mayo completely passed on any opportunity to say, see, I told you I might know a little bit about what I'm doing. Yep. As did Jacoby Brissett, who we have spent weeks talking to as if he is a placeholder, bookmark, just get out of the way so the other kid can play. Completely passed on the opportunity to do that. There's a maturity to a rebuilding team if it comes from the top down that way. For the leaders to not say that, I think is very telling. You got a new era of Patriots football that actually looks a lot.
Yeah, that's great point. That's what, it's not one game does a season make, but at least for the time being, they put to rest a lot of rumors how pathetic the offensive line was. Jacoby Brissett was not in a whole heck of a lot of trouble, and when he was a little bit, he stepped up in the pocket or he scrambled a little bit and had a good job. He had 32 yards rushing on, including a long of 16 on 7 carries. Stevenson was outstanding for the Patriots. Again, yesterday, rushing for 120 yards on 25 carries, scored the touchdown as well. My new favorite play, I nicknamed him Sesame Street, and that's because we're talking about the tight end Austin Hooper, who has been around for a while, but he had some nice catches yesterday. He was open. He had he was targeted 4 times. He caught 2 for 31 yards. That was your leading receiver yesterday. So, I mean, you look at some of the numbers and you go, how the hell did the Patriots win? Well, they owned the clock. They absolutely owned it. There was that methodical 80-yard drive by the Patriots in the first quarter. They had like 6 first downs there as well, capped off by Stevenson's 3-yard touchdown run. Cincinnati were 3 and out of its first 3 possessions. Joey Burrow moved the Bengals into the red zone of the second quarter, came away with nothing as the Patriots forced some turnovers. Mike Gesicki did nothing for Miami, did nothing for the Patriots, appeared to make a failing that catch back in the end zone, but he dropped it, didn't follow through. On the next play, a 3rd and 11 from the Patriots 15, Burrow connected with tight end Tanner Hudson at the 9-yard line, but Kyle Duggar comes out of nowhere, stripped the ball at the goal line, and quarterback Marcus Jones scooped it up and ran 17 yards the other way. That was outstanding. Jamar Chase kept everyone guessing as to whether he was going to play Sunday. Finally, he's out there. He elected to play at 6 catches for 62 yards. He said he was sick with food poisoning in recent days. Okay. And in the second half, Cincinnati's Charlie Jones fumbled away a punt, which led to a Patriots field goal. Then the Bengals came up a yard short on 4th down, and a 4th down pass attempt turned the ball over. So there is that. The other 2 big stories that happened, there were 3 actually. Obviously, Tyreek Hill was on the story about him being detained, and we'll get into it a little bit. I've got some of the video, Angel, if you want to scroll down, and it's from obviously yesterday. You might have to scroll down a little bit because I retweeted the video when it came out. This is during NFL Countdown. This story breaks. Yeah, it's right to Ari Meirov. I have it. It's right under after Dak Prescott, which was obviously another big story that happened during NFL Countdown. If you're watching NFL Network, but I'll get into that in a second. But here, if you see it, Angel, we can play that. Look at this video that was obtained. Part of it, anyway. It's not that long. Actually, you know what, Angel? The one underneath it is better.
Yeah, that's the one I picked.
Okay. Thanks. All right.
No way.
Chill out.
Dylan, that's
Get him
Charlie.
video.
I did. Dylan.
Yo, FaceTime. FaceTime me.
You understand? Not with you, one, but what we do. You're a little fucking confused.
What the fuck?
It's Tyreek Hill.
Dylan, no. I'm trying to get on video.
They put him in handcuffs.
No way. Flip me around.
Oh, fuck.
What? No, he's on his way to the game. Oh, I bet you this Rolls Royce is another.
See, I mean, it really, and nobody still knows what happened except that he was pulled over for allegedly speeding while driving into Hard Rock Stadium. Like he's like a half a block away. It's where all the players go in. It's about 3 hours before kickoff. He was ultimately placed in handcuffs after a verbal altercation occurred. Jeff Darlington was all over this. They did a great job. What I couldn't believe is we're still trying to get to the bottom of it. There's been an investigation. One officer was put on administrative leave that was involved in this. ESPN, and I have my issues with a lot of things that they do, but they were all over this. Jeff Darlington did a great job, and then he did a great job of tracking down Drew Rosenhaus. What I could not believe, Angel, is while this story is breaking all over the place on ESPN, it took NFL Network about 45 minutes to say anything about it. I'm flipping back and forth. I'm like, how is this not? It's on ESPN. It's breaking news, and they're talking about. I flipped to NFL Network, and there is Steve Mariucci trying to talk about the Lions and Rams coming up on Sunday night. And I said, this can't be happening. And then I'm like, is this a tape show? And it was live. But NFL Network just dropped the ball. They eventually got to Drew Rosenhaus and they got to the story. I forget, it was Ian Rappaport, I think, who was in Miami. It was way after ESPN had already gotten everything going. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that. I don't know if the producers here didn't want to touch the story because they didn't know. I just, to be 45 minutes behind was embarrassing for the NFL Network yesterday. Ridiculous. But so Tyreek Hill, if we could, Angel, on on ESPN's webpage,
Mm-hmm.
going to have to play a commercial. It's going to be a commercial, but it's Tyreek Hill reaction, video reaction. Basically, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? But so if we can play, when you get a chance, we can play that. He was released, Tyreek Hill, after several minutes. The incident, as you just saw, was filmed by nearby fans who quickly went viral on social media. He said he didn't know why the situation escalated the way he did. I mean, other players will tell you, coaches, you speed into a stadium. Sometimes security say, hey, blah, 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 slow down and, good luck today. I don't know. I don't know how this happened at all. I don't know how it got to the point where he is down, face down on the ground, placed in handcuffs. He says he has no idea why it happened. He said he was not disrespectful, didn't use profanity towards the officers. But when you get that video, Angel, let me know.
Got it.
They're ready. So here's his reaction after the game.
Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not going to give you a version that I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to say, I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper hat, all that, so I got a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, everybody has bad apples in every situation, so I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out a way to, like, flip this and, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, so that way we can team together and, do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. It wasn't disrespectful, because my mom didn't raise me that way, didn't cuss, didn't do none of that. So, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'm just glad that my teammates were there to, like, support me in that situation, because I felt alone, and when they showed up, it made me realize that we got a good team this year, dog. For them to, like, put their life on the line. You know what I'm saying? So it was amazing to see, man.
Well, look, the part about him being a cop is laughable. I mean, just stop it. I mean, this is, I don't know what happened. It seemed to be way over the top, the police, what they did. I'm a big policeman supporter and all that stuff. I don't know everything. I thought I heard a couple of F-bombs, so he said he didn't cuss. I'm not sure that's the case at all. I don't know how it escalated to the way it did. Hopefully that we will find out. And then, Calais Campbell and Jonas Smith stopped by for support. They were heading in. They saw what was going on. They stopped to offer support for him, trying to de-escalate the situation. Campbell said disobeying a direct order, quote unquote, when asked why officers told him he was being detained. Quote, he said, I was too close to the scene, and then I think he had said something about me not moving my car in time. I don't know. He told me I was being arrested, but he cited me for being detained and then released. Miami-Dade PD released a statement from Director Stephanie V. Daniels, who initiated an, quote, immediate review of all details surrounding the incident, quote unquote. 3 hours later, Daniels announced that one of the officers involved was placed on administrative duties while the investigation is conducted. Hill was informed of the decision during the news conference after the game and agreed with the action. Tyreek Hill said, that should tell you everything you need to know. I'm just glad that my teammates were there to support me in my situation because I felt alone, as you just heard. Then said NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said the league has been in contact with the Dolphins but declined to comment further. Mike McDaniel, Dolphins head coach, said he didn't know all the details when he spoke after the game, but he was happy with how the team came together. They ended up winning the game 20-17. It was really something that Jacksonville blew it. They really did.
But I also like the way that Tyreek Hill, how he talked about it during a press conference, because even then he even said we can turn this into something positive versus everybody just going bananas and start breaking stuff and this that, and the other, which is the most professional way of doing it. So I do like the way he handled himself during it. And it's gonna freaking bother you. Just like I did with DeChambeau was the same exact way. Like that stuff, it'll weigh in your freaking mind. It's like, what in the world happened? Like, how did that escalate so fast?
I don't know how it escalated. Usually the cops are pretty lenient with the players coming into the stadium. I mean, they'll tell you to slow down or just take it easy. I really don't get it. Drew Rosenhaus, it was just laughable listening to him on the field with Jeff Darlington and started going on about, Tyreek Hill is no saint. Go back and look at the stuff when he was at Kansas City. There's a lot of shit there. But the Drew Rosenhaus stuff about in the interview, I'm trying to find it. When he was with Jeff Darlington on the field and just was going on about how his respect for police officers and everything. It's like, oh my God, stop with all that stuff. And he was outraged, and he's going to get to the bottom of it and how it escalated. So I agree. How it escalated that quickly, I don't know. But when you say concussion or something like that, we'll have to wait for the full investigation. It's on the surface, Angel and everybody else, to me, it seemed a tad over the top. Or more than a tad. I'm kind of being tongue-in-cheek, but I want to wait till we have all the information before we start. I can't speculate on stuff. From the video, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the Miami PD.
Nope, it doesn't. They all have body cams, so that's today, I will say the one thing that helped law enforcement, because there were so many people that said things that they were doing, which they weren't doing. And yes, do we know there's some bad apples, just like he said? Of course, we all know this. In Philly, they almost freaking eliminated one entire precinct from the stuff they were getting away with. But the body cam doesn't lie. So if the initial officer that was involved, all that's going to be on a body cam. So I just hope that whomever it was, they actually come out and tell the truth and just say, here's what this is all about. As Gaston guy says, I'll tell you how to feel about this, LOL. But, the big thing, the takeaway from that too, is that if they review the body cam and they see what happened, then yes, because I think it was a little bit extreme as well as far as what they end up doing. The only thing that I don't get into is that when I saw it during when that one original person, a 50-second video they put out there, then the comments that follow. And a lot of times I won't even feed into what people are saying, because then they come out and they go really bananas on the comments. I'm like, oh, you guys can have fun with that, because I'm not even going in that route. But I think it was like you said, in tongue in cheek, a tad too much. That just seemed to be absolute bananas.
Well, when we come back, take a quick break. And again, Miami came back. They were down. They scored 13 unanswered points. The Jacksonville Jaguars really gave the game away. When we come back, more reaction. We'll play it off Total Sports Prep, Angel, from the Miami win. We'll have Drew Rosenhaus's reaction, at least the audio anyway, from CBS. We'll have Mike McDaniel reaction as well. And also last night, Mike Florio chimed in on NBC about what happened as well. So all of that, we'll take a quick break. Then we'll come back. And then we'll tell you also, Mia, our good friend Mia O'Brien, who'll be on this week, probably Wednesday. I'll tell you a funny exchange that we had, because she had her own difficulties getting into the stadium as well. But we'll get into all that and a whole lot more on the Pete Shepard Show as we continue right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, eyontp.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill? Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
All right, back here on the Pete Shepherd Show, the Coastal Sports Network. It is Monday, September 9th. Hope everybody had a tremendous weekend. Amazing stuff with college football and the NFL. We continue to discuss what happened in Miami with Tyreek Hill after being detained about 3 hours before kickoff. he did respond in a big way. Angel, if we could scroll down to Drew Rosenhaus on second page, a few cuts down, it's Drew Rosenhaus, his reaction on Hill's detainment. This is from CBS. It's about, you'll see it, it's like 6 cuts down, 6 or 7 cuts down on page 2. Drew Rosenhaus. ESPN had it first. They did a good job. Then NFL Network, and then CBS came on as well and had Drew Rosenhaus. So see if you're buying into what Drew Rosenhaus is saying here.
Travis.
See it, Angel?
Is it under the Miami 20?
Yeah. It's under the it's the second page of these cuts. It's the third cut from third cut from the bottom, third or fourth cut from the bottom on page 2.
Tyreek Hill. Drew Rosenhaus. Goodness gracious. Come on.
Well, I'm joined by Tyreek Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus. And Drew, can you just give us a timeline of the incident involving Tyreek Hill this morning?
Yeah, my client, Jonnu Smith, Tyreek's teammate, called me and said that Tyreek was being detained by police. Some of the things that I heard about them putting him in handcuffs for a moving violation, a traffic ticket, it seems really excessive, to put it mildly. We'll be investigating that after the game. Number one, Tyreek is okay, very upset, but okay. Number two, his teammates absolutely came to his defense. Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell, 2 leaders, veterans, were there with him the whole time. We got the Dolphins involved. Drew Brooks, the head of Dolphins security. The police gave Tyreek a citation. He went into the stadium. His mindset, he was very upset, but he's going to focus and do what he has to do today for his teammates, his coaches, and the fans. But this was a mind-boggling situation. A player entering the stadium, I just can't imagine there's any scenario where you would handcuff him, put him on the ground. I'm just distraught about it. We will be looking into it.
Yeah, what reason were you given for the detainment and arrest?
When I talked to Tyreek, he was stunned. He had no idea why it escalated to that extent. He felt it was very inappropriate, but we'll be dealing with that after the game.
Drew, you know Tyreek well. You used the word distraught. What do you feel like his mindset is at this point?
I'm sure he'll calm down. He was very emotional. Obviously, anybody would be. It's a very traumatic situation. But Tyreek is a consummate professional. He's a very strong man, and I'm confident he'll pull it together and be at his best today.
Drew, appreciate you taking the time with us. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, and he did respond. Tyreek Hill did. The next cut down, Angel, right there. This is a huge 80-yard touchdown that he had. Good throw from Tua Tagovailoa as well. Cut the lead to 17.
In the end zone, 20. It goes back 1st and 10. Tua Tagovailoa. Instead the block, and he's going deep. He's got Hill. Foot race. Driving. That is 6. Oh, he's a ghost. 80-yard touchdown.
The celebration at the end, I don't know if anybody caught it, if you're watching that game. One of his teammates, but Tyreek Hill puts his hand behind his back, and his teammate come up and pretend to put handcuffs on him. It's actually kind of funny when you see the video. And the reason why that happened, we'll get to the game-winning field goal in a second, but this is earlier in the game, the third quarter. We'll get to the game-winning field goal now. This is how it ended. It's on page 2, same thing. The second cut from the top on page 2, Angel. Jason Sanders game-winning field goal. You see it? It's the same page you were on. It's just at the top of the page. It's Jason Sanders game-winning field goal.
And the kick is up, and it's going to be good from 52. Miami zeros on the clock, has won on a game-winning 52-yard field goal.
Yep, that ended up being 20-17. That was the final there in Miami. Angel, if we could go just scroll up just a tad to page 1 of these cuts. And cut number 2. Well, Travis Etienne had a 1-yard rushing touchdown early in the game, made it 7-0. This is the play, cut number 2, that cost the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Back, 1st and 10. Etienne, big block in there by Robinson. The ball came out. It did. Calhoun jumps on it. Miami's defense will hold.
Oh, that would have changed the whole dynamic of the game. That would have put them up 24-7. Probably lights out for Miami, but that was a bad look for Travis Etienne Jr. fumbling and Miami recovering. One last cut here, Angel, on the situation going back to Tyreek Hill. Scroll back down to page 2, and it's cut number 3 on NBC. Mike Florio with details. This was at 8 o'clock last night with details on Tyreek Hill's detainment that happened earlier in the day.
Well, the support that Tyreek Hill referred to included Calais Campbell, a former Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. He said after the game, he went over to de-escalate the situation. He was handcuffed and cited for disobeying a police officer's order. As to Tyreek Hill, Miami-Dade Police Department Internal Affairs Division has begun an investigation. Agent Drew Rosenhaus told me after the game that the Internal Affairs has reached out to Tyreek Hill to speak to him. Lawyers are considering all options, including possible litigation, and one officer has already been placed on what they are calling administrative duties.
All right, so any new information we will have, because we're going to get, everybody's going to look and trying to get to the bottom of this. How did it escalate? How did it get to where Tyreek Hill was on the ground, face down, and getting cuffed? So any new information we'll have for that, we will pass along to you as soon as it becomes available to us. So we're monitoring everything as we speak. The other huge story, Angel, I know I'm asking you to do a lot, is to go to ESPN once again. Dak Prescott motivated to live up to a deal. Unbelievable stuff. Dak Prescott was in his room at the downtown Cleveland Marriott at Key Tower when he got a call that he was going to become the highest paid player in NFL history. Now, I told you he was going to become the highest paid player in NFL history. I don't need to be the one to tell you that. I told you, everybody would have told you that it just happened, sooner rather than later. But obviously he wants to stay with the Cowboys. He could not have signed this deal if he didn't want to. But, man, he was with Ezekiel Elliott when it happened. And just let me know when you have the video. And he got an absolutely unbelievable deal that is going to make him. He's the highest paid player now in the NFL. He's going to average $60 million, which is what I thought would be. What I don't understand is all the mumbo jumbo that why this had to come down to right before kickoff, basically. A little while before the game started. I really don't. I don't understand why Jerry Jones had to do this. Why they had to wait so long to do this. Unless they didn't want him. Unless they didn't want him to stay. But obviously they did. And the contract, the contract says it all. Huge, absolutely huge deal. And should he play out the length of the new deal, he'd become the longest tenured starting quarterback in Cowboys team history. Troy Aikman held that spot from 1989 to 2000. Roger Staubach and Tony Romo had 8 full seasons as a Cowboys starter as well. But what a day for Dak Prescott. And the stories that were happening pre-kickoff were just unbelievable yesterday. It really were. God, where are?
I hope this is it. Because when you said waiting in your room, I'm looking for that in the headlines, and it's in the sub-headline. So hopefully this is it.
Hang on, let me check. No, it's the 4th story down on ESPN's main page.
All right, then hold on, because.
Oh, I think that's it. I think you got it.
It's my only motivation. Hold up my part of this deal, and just deliver that. That's my motivation. Right now, it's about celebrating this win tonight. Hell of a win with these guys. Excited for this plane ride back with them. But turning the page tomorrow, getting on to the Saints, and taking it one game at a time. But that's what is at the forefront of my mind. Not the money. It's about holding up my end of the deal, and that's winning.
Yeah, the Cowboys spanked Cleveland 33-17. It really wasn't even that close. Deshaun Watson was pathetic, but Dallas's defense was very good. Dak Prescott, by the way, 19-32, 179 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Ezekiel Elliott had 40 yards on 10 carries and a rushing touchdown as well. And also part of this game, so Dak Prescott, 4 years, $240 million extension. And 231 of it is guaranteed. It makes him the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. And now, if you go back to my Twitter account, though, this was also Tom Brady's debut as a broadcaster, a color analyst in this game. He was okay. Let's put it that way. That's kind of being kind. He was okay. He did have his moments. He had some good moments. And where is it? Oh God. Okay, you go down to awful announcing, and this is one that he got right. Tom Brady pointing out how Michael Parsons causing problems for Deshaun Watson. If we could play that, Angel.
They brought him in, and they want Deshaun to regain that form he had in Houston. And today they've just gone backwards too much. Another holding penalty, long yardage again. Dealing with Parsons here at the top of the screen.
Watson tipped in the air, and that's intercepted by Kendricks. An easy one for this Dallas D as Eric Kendricks has his first interception as a Cowboy. And guess who got it? Parsons tipped it in the air.
They brought him in, and
So he nailed that one. And then a little bit later on, if we could scroll up, Angel. Actually, no, scroll down. Where is it? Scroll down to where Scott Hansen did not think Tom Brady was excited enough for Brandon Aubrey's 71-yard field goal attempt, which didn't happen.
Turner back there. That's something to worry about. 71?
This is crazy. Yeah.
Well, they got to cover. If it doesn't go in.
This is a 71-yard attempt. And now the Browns will call a timeout.
Maybe everyone's going to rethink this one.
71 yards.
Third and final timeout.
Go to the Jets now. Oh, come on. Brady's got to get more excited than that in the booth. This is going to be a
Turner back.
Like I said, look, Tom's going to continue to get better. He was okay to mediocre at best. He could have. Then my laptop just went nuts. He could have done. I think he could have spoken a lot more. I watched a lot of that game, listened to the audio around here. The Tampa Bay game was on, but we were watching on at my buddy Dave's house. Put on a great spread again. We all chipped in, but unbelievable fish chowder, like ridiculous, off the chart stuff. Wanted to thank my friends Dave and Marie for hosting another tremendous party for a bunch of us. We had a blast. But we watched a lot of the Dallas-Cleveland game because we wanted to hear Tom's commentary. And overall, it was unimpressive. But it's his first time doing it. You can practice all you want. He will continue to get better. Like I said, he had a great analysis on the Micah Parsons play as well. He called that one. But he needed to say more. He needed to say more. Not necessarily wanted to be Tony Romo, but I think he'll get better as the season progresses.
You want to know too, though, Pete, because usually in the booth, everybody puts up like one finger or something else just to let you know, I have something basically like the same way we end up doing it here, but it's you put your finger up and let the person say whatever they want to, and then the other one goes. So, but he is going to get better. I mean, again, I'm not an uber Tom Brady fan, folks, so slow it down before Eagles fans start throwing stuff my way. But it's like everything else. You start out first, you figure out your legs, and then, the boat's off and running.
Yep. And like I said, he'll continue to get better. He said some good things. He just didn't say enough. And it's not, there were times he didn't say anything during plays where I thought he should have said something, but we'll see. He's going to get better. There's no question. Meanwhile, what else we got here? Going back to the Patriots, this is Mike Petralli. He's going to join us after blowing me off on Friday, which he's apologized profusely the last few days. But if we could play, it's right under the cut. Jamar Chase is upset about why he was only targeted 6 times and talked about his food poisoning he had.
Wait, what are you talking about? Twitter or
on Twitter. Sorry, on Twitter. Right underneath the show. So I just put it out. Mike Petraglia, my buddy from Cincinnati, will join us later on this week. This is more Jamar Chase reaction. He's upset. He didn't get enough touches.
Joe threw me to slow me down. I felt like I had an opportunity to make a play and probably score. But
all right, let me just say that volume is not by me. That's coming really low off the audio. So I apologize in advance.
He slowed me down with the ball, so I thought about protecting myself as I was getting hit. That's why you do it like that.
I don't think we've ever seen you do that before. Is that kind of
what?
Were you slow down like that?
He was protecting me, he said.
How do you feel like he looked up there?
He looked good. You know what I'm saying? There's still other spots we could work on. All of us, not including him.
Okay, you know what? Let's go, Angel. It's too low, so let's do this. Let's go to Total Sports Prep, and if we can scroll down, this will be a much better. It's cut number 3, the exact same thing what we're talking about here, about why he only got 6 targets. Jamar Chase. It's cut number 3.
Hold on, because I gotta obviously find the team.
Yep. Just scroll down, and it's a Patriots Cincinnati highlights. Patriots 16-10 win. It's cut number 3 on Total Sports Prep. Same thing, Mike Petraglia on X.com.
Freaking, what is
Joe
going?
Slow me down. I felt like I had an opportunity to make a play and probably score. But he slowed me down with the ball, so I thought about protecting myself as I was getting hit. That's why you threw it like that.
Was that how? I don't think we've ever seen you do that before. Is that kind of
what?
Were you slowed down like that?
He was protecting me, he said.
How do you feel like he looked up there?
He looked good. You know what I'm saying? There's still other spots we could work on. All of us, not including him, me, myself, the rest of the receivers, the O-line, running backs room, everybody. So.
What was the most frustrating part about today on offense?
The last drive.
Why?
Because we 3 and out.
What happened on the punt where you didn't get off the field?
You answered it. I didn't get off the field.
Jamar, you guys have started slow the last couple of years. How do you guys avoid this week 1 loss from spilling into next week and making this another 0-2 start?
Yeah, we pros. We got to forget about it, move on to the next week.
What's the number one thing that you feel like you guys can fix right now?
Say that again?
What's the number one thing that you guys can fix right now?
I'll just say turnovers, man. That was the biggest thing today is turnover. Turnover battle will be lost.
Do you feel like you were getting open and having great windows that you need?
I had opportunities.
Did you think the game plan was any different today because of your limited practice time?
You got to ask Zach.
Gotta ask Zach.
Are you feeling better? It came out that you were sick yesterday.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better. I'm about to get another IV.
What happened?
Excuse me?
Did you get sick?
Food poisoning.
Yeah. What percentage would you put yourself at today going up? How did you feel?
It doesn't matter. I played, bro. It don't matter.
You saw the reason why the offense came out so flat.
Yeah, I feel like we always start like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially the first game of the year. I feel like we should do better by now.
How do you fix that?
Turnover battle today, especially.
But even being flat, I feel like it seems like y'all talked about it for months, only to come out that same way again, same way y'all we've seen it for so many years. Like, why do you think y'all have to put your finger on it and fix that issue?
I don't know, man. Ask Zach, bro.
Is it like not having
It was a little different. You know what I'm saying? He's a playmaker on the other side, so we got mismatches for him and stuff like that. So.
How frustrating is it for him? He's a guy who wants to be out there, wants to do what he can do, and have that kind of pop up a couple days.
I can't talk for him on that situation, but I know he want to be out there.
All right, that's good, Angel. That's enough out of Mr. Chase. That's plenty out of him. Before we go to break, a couple more. Let's stay on the Patriots win over Cincinnati. Gerard Mayo, meanwhile, this is down the third to last cut there, Mayo. Angel, Gerard Mayo's message to the team post-game, thanks to the Patriots webpage.
Without them, I'm nothing. So, and I made sure they knew that. Like, they crossed the white lines. I always talk about empowering the players to go out there and play. I always talk about awareness really being the number one thing. And and those guys taking ownership. So, all the praise goes to those guys, and they did a great job.
All right, and then finally, Jacoby Brissett said he cried a few times before the game.
Yeah, man, I think I cried 3 times before the game. I cried when I got to the stadium, cried when Mayo came up to me and before the game, and he started laughing, and he's like, man, you're about to win us this game, you're about to ball out. And I had never heard that from a coach, and that meant a lot to me. And then I cried when I got out there and we were going out there on offense. But my emotions were definitely high,
Okay, all right. Cried 3 times, said like before, during, and after the game. Okay, all right. Hey, whatever worked. The offensive line had me crying happy tears because I couldn't believe what I was seeing after everybody was just crapping all over them, and for good reasons during the preseason. But they really got it together. They did a great job dominating in the trenches, and Patriots defense was swarming. Joey Burrow was pressured a lot. Didn't do well when he was pressured. Turnover battle was definitely won by the Patriots. That's what won them the game. But in the trenches and clock management, they dominated from the get-go in this game in the trenches. So good stuff. All right, we have way more stuff, way more sound, audio, and video to get to with all the rest of the NFL. A lot of great games yesterday, including the end last night, unless you fell asleep like I did, and I didn't see the end of it. The Lions win in overtime. We'll get to all of that and some college football stuff as well from Saturday. That was amazing. All part of the Pete Shepard Show. Hour number 2 will continue right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The Pete Shepard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Yeah, welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Pete Shepard Show here on a Monday, day after week 1, nearly complete. 49ers and Jets coming up tonight, and that should be really interesting. I'm going to make this really easy for Angel the rest of the way here because my laptops and stuff, I apologize for being a tad disheveled. I had stuff blinking on and off over here on my end. I couldn't really – it happens in the business. But, Angel, we're going to just go right in order here. Basically, I'll call for some cuts, but let's start back to the NFL with Pittsburgh and Atlanta. So much to get to. We're just going to do a lot of audio cuts here. Then I'll get to the video cuts and just make it a lot easier for Angel so he's not going back and forth. But another one of these stories yesterday, right before the game, you had Tyreek Hill, you had Dak Prescott, and then you find out that Russell Wilson, to the surprise of not a lot of people, was not able to play. But, Angel, I can't remember 3 big stories like that happening before opening kickoff. I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of stuff that happened before kickoff. I've never seen anything like it on week 1 ever in my life. 3 big stories like that. Not that the Russell Wilson's kind of but nevertheless, it was another, like, ESPN couldn't keep up fast enough with what was going on, and NFL Network was just way behind everybody, it seemed. Crazy stuff. But this was another one of those games. Everybody, all preseason, the Falcons this, the Falcons that, and the Falcons, and you find the Falcons. Kirk Cousins is going to turn everything around. No, he was awful yesterday. And it's the same people. I told you, I like Tampa Bay to win that division. We'll get to that game as well. But these people that speak in absolutes and after not even seeing one down, the Falcons played reasonably well yesterday defensively. Your quarterback, who was supposed to be the savior, was awful, absolutely awful. So let's start with the good, Angel. How about go to cut number 2? Kirk Cousins found Kyle Pitts for 12-yard reception in the second quarter.
Cousins, first read taken away. Left side, he throws. Wide open, Pitts. Touchdown, Atlanta.
I'm trying to think. I had on my fantasy team yesterday. I'm just checking on my FanDuel fantasy team yesterday. I ended up winning $40 on a dollar play. I had Josh Allen, a quarterback, and I did have Mr. Pitts, who had a touchdown on 26 yards as well, but not bad. The Buck won $40. I had a pretty good day for FanDuel. But so that was the good Kirk Cousins. Now, if we could. Let's scroll down to the third to last cut, Angel. Let's start with that one. Kirk Cousins, the Deshaun Elliott debacle pick there.
Field with the passing game.
Back-to-back passes on this drive. Cousins scans over the middle and picked off. It is Deshaun Elliott in his Pittsburgh debut coming up with the interception.
Yeah, that actually happened before the touchdown pass. And then if we could go and scroll the next cut down, Angel, another pick by Mizir Cousins.
Cousins, a collapsing pocket, throws an interception. Dante Jackson in his Steelers debut inside the 20. He dropped an interception in the first half. If given the choice, he'd say, I'd probably take this one. In the fourth quarter, returns at 48 yards.
Well, and then let's scroll back up to cut number 3. Kirk Cousins says the offense did not complement the rest of the team today.
I'll just start if that works and then take any questions you have. Disappointing, to lose, certainly it always is. Needed to play better. That's the bottom line. I thought our defense played very well. I thought our special teams played very well, and we didn't complement that enough on offense. You can start with the turnovers and then some untimely, penalties where we had a drive going and then it got kind of set back. And so we did some positive things, had a strong first drive, but just didn't sustain enough drives. And it felt like a lot of that or some of that was self-inflicted. And so now we have to, flush it and understand that it's a loss. It's disappointing, but you have to move forward and treat every game as its own entity, and that's where you go really after a win or a loss. That's where your mind has to go.
He was awful yesterday. 16-26, 155 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. Let's scroll down to Mike Tomlin, his opening statements during the press conference and the Steelers win in Atlanta.
Man, I'm just really appreciative of the efforts of our guys. It was a fight. Obviously, we weren't perfect, man. There's week 1-like things, particularly early on in the game. We warmed up to it defensively, man. We dropped a pick or something there early. They converted some third downs and started the game with a field goal. And, that's not why we put our defense on the field to start the game. We had some fumbled CQ exchanges on offense. We were shooting ourselves in the foot. Some drives got stopped. You're kicking field goals, man, in a hostile environment versus a good group, man. You're in danger. And so I'm just really appreciative that we're able to get it done. We got things to work on, but it's really good to work on your ills with a W. And so we're going to do that. You start this season, man, on the road, man. It's 32 teams start this thing undefeated. And it's just good to get your first one on the road. Half this league is obviously not going to be winners this week. And to get on the road and get out of the gate with a W is something that I respect, and it's really excited for the guys. From a health standpoint, Cam Johnston appears to have a serious injury. I have an update for you next time we come together. It's a shame for him. This guy has been spectacular, man, through team development. He's an absolute stud, not only in his talents, but his approach to business. And so, my heart goes out to him. Darius Rush is being evaluated for a concussion. I don't know whether it is or isn't, but as the game ended, he was being evaluated in that way. We had some bumps and bruises. Some guys go out, but those guys came back in, D-Jack, Joey Porter. But I'm just really appreciative of how the team supported one another and fought through. And that's what teams do. A case in point is we gave up a drive there before the half, and our offense went down the field and got a field goal to respond, and that was important. Obviously, you saw our defense stand up several times in support of our offense. We had some unique contributions today, like Scotty Miller as a backup holder. Look at your flip card, man. You don't see a backup holder on that flip card. We're just really appreciative of unique skill sets that help us win. Can't say enough about Boz, not only in terms of him kicking the ball, but that punt was timely. TJ Watt always delivers when he gets picked. We don't take that for granted. We appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. And so there's a lot of efforts to speak to. But largely, man, we're just thankful to come into this place and get this victory and kind of move on with our journey.
We'll hear from Chris Boswell in a second. But if you're in Pittsburgh today, you have some sort of a daily number. And I think all these big lottery games, I forget. But 57, 56, 51, 44, 40, 25. Those are the 6 field goals that Chris Boswell connected from in the game yesterday. So I would play those numbers. 57, 56, 51, 44, 40, and 25. And as you just heard Mike Tomlin say, Cameron Johnson got hurt in that game. It was actually a penalty on the Steelers on that punt. The player got blocked into him, but he got hurt. And then you had Boswell hit a 43-yard punt at one point. Pittsburgh goes on to win 18-10. Last cut here, Angel, right after Mike Tomlin. Here's Chris Boswell on his Week 1 performance. He will be Special Teams Player of the Week, by the way.
When was the last time you punted in a game?
Probably college. No, I guess when I came out my rookie year with Houston. But other than that, I just mess around punting. I don't really try to do it.
It seemed like you hit it pretty good there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, for my standards, it's good, but for a punter, it's probably not.
The first kicker in Steelers history to go 3 field goals in a game, over 50 yards. Did you think about that at all when it was happening?
No, it's just same mindset I've always had, just next kick. Good, bad, indifferent. You know, I got to move on to the next one. Just because I made one doesn't mean I'm making the next, so I just got to stay into every single kick.
6 field goals, though. Pretty good game. Pittsburgh beats Atlanta 18-10. Let's stay right here on the NFL. No Red Sox cuts today. I'm going to do the Red Sox report, though. We'll get back to the NFL in 2 seconds here. The Red Sox report brought to you by Moynihan Lumber. Check out the complete line of Anderson windows and doors at any of the 3 locations in Beverly and North Reading, Massachusetts, and in Plastown, New Hampshire. Bad loss for the Red Sox yesterday. Anytime you lose to the White Sox, it's a bad loss. But Dominic Fletcher's RBI double sparked a 5-run 9th inning, and the White Sox avoided a 3-game sweep. They beat the Red Sox 7-2. Chicago starter Chris Flexen's winless streak continued, 21 straight starts, the longest in team history after he was pulled with the game tied. In the 7th inning, the 30-year-old righty gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, striking out 6. The White Sox had lost his previous 20 starts, which is also a major league record. The White Sox are 33-111. They've lost 14 of the last 15 before rallying against Red Sox reliever Zach Kelly, who's now 6-3. And they go on to lose. The Red Sox do. Gave up a whole bunch of runs in the 9th inning. So up next for the Red Sox, right-handed pitcher Brian Bayo today, 12-7, 4.75 ERA, scheduled to start today in the opener of a 3-game series against Baltimore. The Orioles haven't announced a starter yet. So there's your Red Sox report, brought to you by Moynihan Lumber. Check out their complete line of Anderson windows and doors at any of their 3 locations in Beverly, North Reading, Massachusetts, and in Plastow, New Hampshire. And while I'm reading out everything, all these great cuts you're hearing, thanks again to Total Sports Prep for the best articles and audio. There's only one source that provides everything you need 365 days a year to satisfy your sports crave. It's Total Sports Prep. Staff combs through the best articles and audio so you don't have to. Sports and non-sports kicker stories will leave you laughing all day long. To get your free trial of Total Sports Prep, contact them. info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. That's info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. Total Sports Prep, the name says it all. Okay, Angel, let's continue in the NFL. Next game up, a thrilling game. It was a weird line, a funky line that Buffalo was favored by 6.5. This is one of the ones I lost yesterday. By the way, recapping my pigskin picks in the NFL, 9-5-1 yesterday. Not bad start, 63.3%. Funny thing, first cut number 1, Angel. History was made yesterday in the NFL. History was made. First cut.
Arizona has led for 27 minutes.
That's the second one. Here he comes, Ross. Here's your moment.
Well, Martin is the designated holder.
So the Martin, number 8, the punter, he has to run off right after Bass kicks it. This will be the first play, to my knowledge, in the history of the NFL in which there are legally allowed to be 12 men on the field.
You're so excited about it. This one toward the end zone and will go out of the back of the end zone. All right.
Well, there's some good highlights in this game. Josh Allen was outstanding in this one. He threw for 2 touchdowns, and he also rushed for 2 touchdowns as well. We'll get to that in a second. But here is, if we go to the third to last cut on the there, Angel, Josh Allen, 7-yard rushing touchdown, made it 17-10. as the Bills had to come back in this one.
Allen keeps it himself. Allen to the right. Allen to the goal line. Lowers his shoulder. He's in. Touchdown, Josh Allen. He powered his way in.
Well, we got to make sure that he got that ball across the goal line. Here's Josh reaching. It's across the goal line. That's a touchdown. What a gutsy call by Joe Brady. You know, you fake like you're going to go to the running back. Josh comes back outside. If he gets tackled inbounds, you're going to have to use your last time out. But it's Josh Allen, and he gets.
Yeah, it was. And we'll get to more on Josh Allen in a second. So that, at the time, made the score 24-17. I'm sorry, that made it 17-10 Arizona. Remember, the Bills were down in this one for most of the game until the fourth quarter, where they outscored Arizona. The second half, they outscored them 24-11. But nevertheless, DJ Dallas, remember him from the U? Top first cut Angel. This big run made it 31-28.
Bass with the kickoff. Cardinals will return it. DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas with a burst across the 40. Bass can't take him down. Dallas may go on the outside. One man to beat. Dives to the goal line. Touchdown, Arizona. No flags. 96 yards.
Yep, thanks again to call on CBS. But the Bills go on to win the game 34-28. And afterwards, we can scroll down, Angel, to head coach Sean McDermott's post-game locker room speech, just from the Bills webpage.
I'm going to tell you what, you guys worked hard for it, number one, during the week, right? But it's never easy. And you freaking found a way to win. That's what we do, baby. Great job. Great job. We left some plays out there, right? We did a lot to hurt ourselves. We got to learn from it, and we will. Right, but we need everyone. You just saw what happened, right? You need everyone. Guys dressed, guys not dressed, guys filling in. Where's that 46? Come on. Hey, listen, a great example, right? Of when your number's called, being ready. Doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. And again, Josh Allen capped his 4-touchdown out, and he was great yesterday. He was great for fantasy. I had him on my fantasy team yesterday, despite the fumble. But he was the leading quarterback for points yesterday. Capped a 4-touchdown outing in that 34-28 win. He went airborne at the end, the last one, from Arizona 6. He burst towards the goal line. He hurled over Bud Baker. He almost got his nuts taken off with a helmet, but he didn't. And then he got pushed from behind by another Cardinal defender whose name escapes me, and then landed in the end zone. The problem is he hurt his left hand. He was wrapped up at the end. Every time I see Josh Allen, who's unbelievable, and he's a big, big, strong man, obviously, going up head first and hurling. He's been doing this his whole career. And he even said afterwards, he can't make a living, quote, can't make a living doing plays like that. Because I thought he was going to get annihilated. Scored the game-winning touchdown. Gutsy effort, but man, talk about sacrificing his body. Again, that touchdown put the Bills up 31-20 with 8.5 minutes left, and capped that surge during the Bills outscoring the Cardinals 28-3 during that stretch. But they go on to win 34-28. But you have to, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you're going, oh yeah, oh yeah, and then you see him get his left hand wrapped up after that. Unreal. All right, Angel, let's continue. Another thrilling game yesterday. Houston and the Colts, 29-27. Houston winning this one, a thriller on the road. Let's go to cut number one with C.J. Stroud and a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter. Big touchdown pass in the fourth quarter.
So it confuses what's happening up front and makes it edgy and jumpy.
3rd and 11. Stroud fires, and it is broken up by Jones, but on the sideline, Collins may have caught it. Unbelievable!
This is an unreal catch by Nico Collins.
Jones was all over
for him, and Collins somehow still brought it in. It looked like Jones undercut this ball and had a chance to intercept it, but as we get into this replay, Nico Collins corrals it, and in his left knee hits inbounds catch for Houston Texans and a first down.
They're going to take a look at this. The previous play is under review.
Yeah, that was what a hell of a game. I'm just going to give you a couple of the other highlights in this one. Anthony Richardson, who played a lot better than I thought he would at times. He was 9-19 throwing the football, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. But here's a scroll down. Here's Richardson. Actually, no, we don't need that. We don't need that. That makes it. Oh, here we go. Afterwards, after the game, we can scroll down to Anthony Richardson. If he second guessed himself after slipping before that, he threw that 60-yard touchdown pass to Alec Pierce.
On the Alec throw, when you slipped a little bit, did you still think I'm going to throw this anyway, or?
Yeah, for sure. Because we had to look, regardless of what I did back then. Even if I would have failed to roll backwards, I probably would have got up and still tried to throw it. Just give my guys a chance. If I just put the ball in a decent spot for him and allow him to have a 50-50 chance, I feel like AP gonna go up there and get it. So I got major faith in him doing that.
All right, Angela, if we could scroll up just a little bit to Stephon Diggs, post game on the team's performance all around. He had a couple of touchdown catches yesterday.
O-line, you gotta give the O-line its credit. I mean, we get all the hoopla, we got the celebrations and all that, but the game is won up front. Playing on the other side of the scrimmage, line of scrimmage is huge. Our O-line dropped their nuts when they had to. Came out with a dub. Joe didn't do it by himself, but it's just a game changer when you can run the ball with 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, hit those 2 big first downs. You ain't got to put it in the air. You're on to something.
Yeah, the other big player, obviously, Joe Mixon had 159 yards rushing and a touchdown on 30 carries. He was outstanding. They couldn't stop him. C.J. Stroud was very good, 24-32, 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Houston Texans hang on. They don't cover, but they beat the Colts 29-27. All right, we'll get some other highlights to get to. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll start again, Angel, with New Orleans clobbering Carolina. Bryce Young still stinks. And another people just hyping this guy up for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll get to New Orleans. We'll get to the Vikings and their clobbering victory over the pathetic Giants, and a whole lot more, and some college football stuff as well. In case you missed it, we'll have the call from the Northern Illinois win over Notre Dame and the great reaction from their head coach coming up. All part of the Pete Shepard Show here on a Monday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak from Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Chardonnay there.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, IonTB.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So, wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You want the best in sports and entertainment? You got it. Now back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
And back here on the Pete Shepherd Show on the Coastal Sports Network. How's everybody doing this morning? Thanks for following us across the video platform on Twitter X at PShep326. We're still having issues, and it's not us or Angel. It's Facebook in general having issues with our server as far as broadcasting the show. So hopefully that'll be taken care of sooner rather than later. But you can also check us out on SR1029thegame.com and Ion TV. We're powered by them. CSN Florida, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. And call and text the show 727-858-6650. Gas Pump Guy says, want to read that, Angel?
Pete, someone needs to talk about Caleb Williams for the Redskins. If he's going to be running like he was yesterday, he may not last very long.
We'll get to that game in a few minutes. And Tampa's domination over Washington. And like I said, I picked the Buccaneers from the division. These people that think the Falcons are going to all of a sudden, I know, again, not one game. And we do a lot of overreaction. But
you might even talk
I'm not overreacting when I say I picked Tampa Bay to win the division, and I still think Atlanta's going to struggle this year. But I'm sorry, Angel, what?
He may have been talking about Jaden Daniels. He may have been thinking about Caleb Williams from Chicago, but Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels, you want to talk about comfort over safety. You're like, he's become literally, this was him yesterday with his helmet, just a bobblehead.
Yeah.
You can see where the chin straps were completely loose and they're supposed to be tightened up. That's the reason why they make all these safety protocols to the NFL. So to me, I think he should be fine because he decided, no, I'm too cute for the game. Let me leave my helmet all loose. And then twice it gets knocked off his head.
No, I know. One down by the goal line, too. I remember. No, you're right. And he might be. I mean, the NFL finds people if your socks aren't high enough matching your pants. So we'll see. Let's keep continuing here at North Carolina. New Orleans over Carolina, clobbering them, absolutely annihilating them 47-10. Let's see, one of the big plays. Let's go down to a great throw. Derek Carr had just an unbelievable game. Let's scroll down. He's the fourth to last cut, Angel. A 59-yard touchdown pass to Rashid Shaheed.
The top of your screen. They need 4. In the pocket, Carr going deep. Rashid, he's got him. Shaheed, he's into the end zone. And that's a Saints touchdown.
I mean, they just clobbered them. They jumped out to a 30-3 lead at halftime. And please, if we go to cut number 1, Bryce Young, who was terrible once again, 13 to 30, 161 yards and 2 interceptions. And he talked about the loss.
Definitely can do better there, and we all feel that way.
You referred to that as recognition of him and seeing that Blitz prices. Is that what you were referring to?
Yeah, just again, just getting the right people to the right places, and systematically just doing a better job with the operation. And again, that starts with me.
Okay, Derek Carr is outstanding, 19 to 23, nearly perfect. 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kamara had a touchdown and 83 yards as well. And easy peasy for New Orleans over a still very god-awful Carolina team. We'll see if they get it together as well. Speaking of god-awful, Daniel Jones sucks. He's awful, terrible. Minnesota goes into their house and wins easily 28-6. And how about Sam Darnold? Let's see. Let's get a good highlight here. But let's go. All right, let's play cut number 2. Jalen Nailor.
Darnold, pump fake, throws, end zone, touchdown. Jalen Nailor.
Kevin O'Connell said that Jalen Nailor was going to be the T.J. Hockenson until T.J. Hockenson comes back. They used Justin Jefferson as a decoy. Both defenders run up there thinking it's going to be some sort of screen, and Nailor gets right behind them for an easy touchdown.
Sam Darnold, pretty good. 19 to 24, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I was really hesitant about this one. I actually picked the Giants to win this game because he just didn't know what Sam Darnold was going to bring to the table. But Daniel Jones just continues to suck. He was awful. 22 of 42, 186 yards, no touchdowns and 2 picks. And let's see, after the game, let's start with the good. Sam Darnold on the team win versus the Giants here, Angel, from the Vikings.
I mean, there's a lot. I think just the way that we played as a team, just the complementary football. On offense, the 99-yard drive sticks out, and then our defense being able to, stop them. Obviously an early turnover, and our defense being able to hold them to 3 there, that was huge. So just like I said, a great all-around team win.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let's scroll down to Brian Daboll, asked about his confidence level in Daniel Jones.
Brian, where's your confidence in Daniel right now?
Yeah, I'd say just overall we have to do a better job, and that starts with me.
How concerned are you about his confidence level, if at all?
Yeah, I'd say, look, we got to do a better job all the way around. He'll learn from the tape, and we'll be better next week.
Okay, and right after that, Daniel Jones asked about his concern level with being replaced.
Concerned are you that he will, replace you at quarterback?
I'm focused on doing my job and playing as well as I can. So I've got to play better. I know that, and I'm focused on doing that.
Okay. Meanwhile, it was 28-6 at the end of the third quarter, and fans were leaving the stadium. That's how bad it was. And then some fans hung around afterwards just to heckle Daniel Jones. Bad. They looked awful, absolutely awful. All right, Angel. Next game up, Chargers in Vegas. Last time these two played, right? I think Vegas put up 62 on the Chargers. Blah blah blah. But this was Jim Harbaugh's first game, and I didn't expect anything that happened last year with the Chargers because of the horrible coaching was not going to happen this year. And you could see it. They played a much more disciplined game, much better on defense. The Raiders struggled on offense. Let's start with, let's go to cut number 1 there, Angel, with running back J.K. Dobbins.
The Raiders are offside. They got a free play here.
Yes, they do. That's Dobbins taking it home for the touchdown.
Well, J.K. Dobbins had some of his biggest games in college against Jim Harbaugh, remember, at Ohio State. But he rushed for 135 yards and 10 carries, a 12-yard touchdown run, and the Chargers go on to beat Vegas 22-10. Page 2 of that one there, Jim Harbaugh got a game ball after his first win in L.A.
I just want to say, on behalf of all the newcomers to the Chargers, myself and everybody else, on behalf of them, I just want you to know, we're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones. The worm has turned. The worm has turned. Coach, what?
2 game balls to give out.
2 game balls, all right? Okay.
Coach Harbaugh.
Hercules!
Joel Ortiz, where are you?
J.K. Dobbins, where you at? Avo! Steve, that's his ball. What do you got? That's his ball. I'm going to get that back. Ceremonial game ball.
Look, O-line, you blocked incredible for me, man. I couldn't do it without you. Quarterback, not without you. All y'all defense, y'all held it down in the first half.
Sure did, defense.
We were keeping real.
All right, Angel, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? We got to do better for y'all. We will. We're going to keep stacking. We're going to keep getting better each and every day. Let's move on to the next week now.
All right, that's good, Angel. We can cut it there. Justin Herbert, 17-26, 144 yards and a touchdown. Chargers avenged that horrific 63-21 loss to the Raiders last December, which, remember, Brandon Staley got fired right after that as GM Tom Telesco. So totally different attitude for the Chargers under Jim Harbaugh. And that was one of the games that I disagreed with my buddy Gabe Morency vehemently because I did not believe in the Raiders. I do not believe in Gardner Minshew at all. 25 of 33 he was for 257 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. But, Pierce punted. They were down, late in the game, 4th and 1. They should have went for a field goal, or they should have went for the first down. I don't know. It's just something about the Raiders that doesn't sit well with me. All right, next up, Angel, let's Seattle and Denver. This was an exciting game as well. Bo Nix in his debut played okay. Seattle wins 26-20. Here's let me see. Let's see what's a good cut here. As we scroll down. Let's go to the second to last cut, actually. For Seattle scoring on a Bo Nix pick.
13. Nix. Oh, no. Has all day, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Woolen. Second interception thrown by the...
Okay, thanks there to CBS and Angel. If we could scroll down, interesting. This is interesting on my Twitter account. Oh, where is it? Oh, hang on. I know I have it somewhere. I have the video of this play. Okay, here it is. Yes, it's under awful analysis. It's right under the Mike Petraglia cut. It's like three cuts down. This is the video and the analysis after this play. If you want to see some good stuff here. Broncos rookie QB Bo Nix lets the ball go. There it is.
.535 left. They're down 13. Nix.
Oh, no.
Has all day, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Woolen. Second interception thrown by the rookie Nix.
He's just trying to do too much and hit the crossing route, but you're going to see when he decides to let this ball go, there's 3 Seattle defenders. You have Woolen chasing him. You have the linebacker underneath. That's Baker. I mean, look at this right here. You cannot attempt that pass in the National Football League and think that you're going to get away with it. The Seattle defense has played very well, but there's going to be a lot to learn from in the film tomorrow for Nix.
Yeah, that's good assessment there, and that's what rookie quarterbacks. That's what happens to rookie quarterbacks. It's going to happen. Bo Nix yesterday had a couple of good throws, but 26 of 42, 138 yards, no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Geno Smith was okay, 18 to 25, 171 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Then Seattle Seahawks go on to win by a score of 26-20. Dallas and Cleveland. This was another one. Deshaun Watson. I mean, my God. All week long, all I heard was how great Cleveland's defense was going to be. And Herman Edwards just going off, like Deshaun Watson was the second coming on the radio. And I quote, Cleveland going to beat him. Cleveland going to beat him by double digits. That was his quote on the radio yesterday. And I was listening. I'm like, how do you come up with this? Based on what? And the people who were doing the national radio show were trying to tell him, well, based on what? We haven't seen what he can do. He hasn't been Deshaun Watson-esque since 4 years ago. He was awful yesterday. Absolutely awful yesterday. And Dallas clobbered them. Dak Prescott, motivated or not, whatever, from his new contract, being the highest paid player in the NFL. But it was all Dallas yesterday. And let's go to let's see what cut. Let's just go to cut number 1 and talk about Deshaun Watson. It's been a long week.
I mean, you just keep your head up, on to the next one. It's been, and again, it's been a long week. At the end of the day, football is definitely something that we got to take very, very serious, and it's our job, it's our career. But there's other things that's bigger than this. I lost my dad Friday. I lost my brother, my teammate yesterday. DeAndre Overton, he's only 26 years old. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long week, and they gave me an opportunity to go back home. But, I told them I wanted to be here with my guys. So, it wasn't even really about football. It was really just kind of, his first time seeing me over the weekend kind of, let me know he's here with me. I try my best to just, try for at least 3 hours to separate the two. But again, I'm not going to use that as an excuse of why we play bad. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of, a heavy heart, these last couple of days. But again, I don't want to, I don't want to use that as an excuse of why we lost.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff mentally going on with him. Obviously, you lose your dad, you lose Overton, you lose your teammate, and everything else. I understand all that, and but he looked terrible yesterday. Terrible. Herm Edwards came on this morning and talked about he couldn't believe what he was seeing. But mentally, and maybe you give him a little bit of a pass because he just wasn't into the game because of what was going on behind the scenes. If we could scroll down, Angel, to that, Dak Prescott said he remained confident the deal with the Cowboys would get done and found out about 20 minutes before the public did.
Yeah, I mean, when I told you guys Thursday that I was focused on this game, excuse me, that was the truth. I mean, I had one other conversation with my agent after meeting with you guys Thursday, and it was essentially that, yeah, they're working hard. Can't say that I'd say that they were close at the time, the last time that I talked to them. But obviously, as I've said and alluded to since back in training camp of the spring, my confidence in both sides of this, that something would get done, understanding that they were hammering at it, that I had confidence in it, but it really wasn't in my mind. For me, it was just about getting ready for the Browns. Whether it got done today or not wasn't going to change the way, it wasn't going to affect me, honestly. I've told you guys before, I don't necessarily play. I don't play for the money. I think when you focus and you control what you can control, things like that just happen. So, yeah, I found out probably an hour honestly, probably 20 minutes before it was, publicized to everybody else.
Yeah, a 4-year, $240 million extension that he got, including like $231 million guaranteed. And he was pretty good yesterday. Obviously, the Cowboy, it was all Dallas yesterday. You just had that feeling. I did anyway. He was 19 of 32, a touchdown, no interceptions. Deshaun Watson, 24 of 45, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. CeeDee Lamb, by the way, had 5 catches, 61 yards. Cooks had a touchdown as well. Ezekiel Elliott, 40 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown run along of 9 yesterday. All right, Angel, let's continue on Total Sports Prep. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I think have been, in my opinion, disrespected by a lot of the national media. Maybe not so much anymore, even though the Washington Commanders, supposedly with Dan Quinn coaching, up-and-coming team, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, let's go to cut number 2. My man, Mike Evans, a 1-yard touchdown reception, his second of the game.
Mayfield to the air, to the end zone, to Evans for the touchdown. His second touchdown grab of the day. The 4th touchdown for Baker Mayfield.
Baker was awesome yesterday, 24 to 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's probably going to get not NFC Player of the Week. He's going to get NFL Player of the Week. He had an amazing game yesterday as well. Afterwards, Todd Bowles on Baker Mayfield, cut number 3, Angel.
Baker did a heck of a job. He was good with his throws. He was good with his reads, with his checks. Everything was on point. He was excited. He ran when he had to, made some plays with his feet. He played a good overall game.
Yes, he did. Meanwhile, Dan Quinn talked about the loss to Tampa Bay.
Man, a lot of lessons to take away tonight. And I wanted this one badly for the players, and that's why it stings. Certainly a story tonight of missed opportunities. And I think third down, if I had to look back on it right now, that was the biggest and certainly the story of the game. So a lot to work on, and Tampa was a better team today. You need the struggle to see the identity develop. You don't want it, but you do need it. And that part, is hard, and that struggle happened tonight. And so we'll take these lessons, and we'll work on them.
Meanwhile, Jayden Daniels talked about his first NFL game.
I mean, I grade myself hard. We didn't win, so, I'm a competitor. I like to win. But overall, it went well, pretty well. There's some stuff that, as an offense, that we left on the field. We got to execute better. But, that's what it's a long season. We're going to move on from this.
Yeah, and yesterday, not horrible, but 17 to 24, 184 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions. He also became former LSU star, one of 3 rookie starting quarterbacks yesterday. As you know, Caleb Williams, who did not play great, got bailed out by the defensive special teams. But he won with the Bears, and Bo Nix started with the Broncos. He joined Robert Griffin III back in 2012. The only rookies to start a season opener for Washington since 1967. So there you have that. A nice win by Tampa Bay. Kick-ass win, 37-20 over the Washington Commanders. Buccaneers are at Detroit this coming Sunday. And remember, the Lions eliminated the Tampa Bay in the division round of the playoffs last year. All right, and finally, last night, one of the best games of the day. There were a lot of good games yesterday, but this, good. If you stayed up for it, it's a little boring in the beginning. But the Lions find a way to beat the Rams in overtime, 26-20. And let's just get cut right to the chase here. And let's see. Yes, with David Montgomery runs to a 1 yard for the overtime win versus the Lions. It's on page 2 of the cut sheet there, Angel, for these highlights. Down about 5.
Interesting goal from the one. It is Montgomery. It is a Detroit Lion overtime win.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Now, when we left, I always go by, all my lines go by what I had on Friday. And it was a 3.5. It was the Lions by 3.5. Lions by 3.5. It ended up going up to 5.5 before kickoff. So those of you who needed that touchdown to cover, you got it. You did get it. You did get it. After the game, let's see. Let's get to first cut. Dan Campbell on Jameson Williams' performance.
Yeah, listen, expected him to play pretty good, to play better, and he showed up. I mean, that was a big game, to be able to catch some of these and go through it. And the best part of it was he didn't even play his best ball. There's still so much to clean up, but it also shows the work that he's put in, and he is improving, and he's an improved player, and he wants it, man, and he keeps working on it, and he keeps taking these steps. So as long as he keeps doing it and keeps making plays, he's just going to continue to get better. So, yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of where he's at. But he's got so much room to continue to grow.
Third-year wide receiver out of Alabama. Had a really good game yesterday, 121 yards, 5 catches, and a touchdown. Let's see. After the game, let's go to Sean McVay. Towards the bottom, Angel asked the team was limited play calling due to injuries.
I'm not going to make an excuse. I mean, you have to adjust and adapt. I mean, and certainly there was a lot of things that we were planning on doing that wouldn't be smart or wise based on the circumstances that we were dealt with. But I would never make an excuse. We had our chances, and our guys gave us, those guys that were playing tonight, led by Matthew, gave us a chance. I thought Cooper made a bunch of plays, obviously. Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson has the big shallow cross that he converts for a big deal. We got a lot of hidden yards, too, with some of the PIs that ended up moving the ball down into the tight red area. And ultimately, some of these penalties, they're learning opportunities for us. But that's part of it. You have to adjust and adapt. I thought we did a, fairly decent job of that. But, we came up short, and this is an opportunity for us to be able to move forward. But I am proud of this group, like I had mentioned. It's tough when you come out here and you go toe-to-toe. It's an excellent football team. I got a ton of respect for Coach Campbell and the way that they do their deal. And they ultimately closed it out, and hats off to them for doing that.
All right, yeah, and what he's talking about, in case you didn't see it, Puka Nacua got hurt, was out of the game. They also lost a couple of offensive linemen in that game, but they go on to lose to Detroit, 26-20 in overtime. All right, Angel, quick break. When we come back, a big-time preview of the Jets at San Francisco tonight, and then some college football video that I want you to see in case you missed it. Some of it from the Northern Illinois win over at Notre Dame on Saturday. Quite the finish. Great call and great reaction by the coach as well. We'll have it for you coming up next here. In hour number 3, right here on the Pete Shepard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news.
weather and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Pete Shepherd Show.
All right, welcome back. It's hour number 3 of The Pete Shepherd Show here on a wacky Monday. Wow, what a weekend of college football and the NFL. So much drama going on. Thanks for checking us out here on the Coastal Sports Network across the video platform. Following me at Pete Shep on X Twitter at PeteShep326. We're still having issues with Facebook. It has nothing to do with myself or Angel. It has to do with the server that we use, and Facebook is having stupid issues that I don't want to get into because it'll derail the show. SR1029thegame.com. Check us out at CSN Florida. We're powered by Ion Tampa Bay, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube. Call or text the show 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. So we pretty much recapped everything in the NFL. So let's do a little preview for tonight's action, and then we can get to some college football highlights that I wanted to show you. Angel, by the way, what's coming up today? You have your show today at 10?
Yep. Martinez coming to be on today, and then followed by the Drive with Q this afternoon from 3 to 5, and then later on this evening will be Lloyd Vance's Insider Football on Sports Radio 102.9. So lots of shows to be going on later on throughout the day.
Awesome. There's so much. There was so much drama. Besides the games yesterday, we could have spent 3 hours talking about the drama that happened. Rick M says, "Good morning, guys. Congrats to the Patriot fans. And why on earth would Prescott be the highest paid player until he wins the big games? He hasn't proven his worth." But Rick, it's not about that. If you've been listening to me, I told you for the last month, I've said, month and a half, he will be the highest paid player in the NFL, whether it's by Dallas or somebody else. It's just timing. Timing is everything. And that's the way it is. Look, it was Trevor, that it was Tua. I mean, look at in sequence here. And I tweeted it out yesterday. Just think about it. Here you have the top-rated quarterback, the highest-paid quarterback. First was Jalen Hurts at $51 million. First it was Patrick Mahomes. Then it was Jalen Hurts at $51 million. Lamar Jackson, $52 million. Justin Herbert, Rick, $52.5 million. What's he done? He's won a playoff game, hasn't done anything. Jared Goff, $53 million. Tua, $53.1 million. Trevor Lawrence, $55 million. Jordan Love, $55 million. Joe Burrow, $55 million. And Dak Prescott now $60 million. It's the way the market is, Rick. That's just – and look, Dak Prescott for now is the highest paid player in the NFL, in the NFL history. Not surprising at all. It's got to do with timing. That's what the market will pay. If Dallas didn't do it, somebody else would have. What I don't understand is why it took Jerry Jones so long to get here. This all could have been avoided a long time ago, and you wait till, and I don't know if it's just Jerry Jones trying to stick it to him a little bit. You wait till, a little while before kickoff, before you tell them. Anyway, it got done. It worked. Dallas kicked ass, and Cleveland, despite Deshaun Watson and maybe not being into it mentally because of the death of his dad and a former teammate. Okay, but they got some. I think they're going to have some issues in Cleveland. But credit to Dallas; they did a kick-ass job on the road yesterday against an alleged tough defense. All right, let's continue on Total Sports Prep about tonight's game, Angel, before we get to some college football video stuff, and then we'll get out of here so you can have some time to refresh and get ready. We haven't even talked, and we're going to talk about your Eagles as well because we haven't a chance to do that yet. Too. Speaking of Jordan Love. Okay, let's start with cut number one, Angel. Tonight, Jets at San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan provides an update on Trent Williams.
So the first one, it doesn't work.
First one doesn't work? Okay. Okay, let's cut down to Peter King from SiriusXM NFL on the sense of urgency for the 49ers.
They're probably going to pay Brock Purdy next year. And so the question is, this is the last year, in my opinion, that you're going to have this great offensive weaponry of Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy. And so I don't know what's going to happen to this team in the future, but they better make it work now.
Okay. Meanwhile, we'll continue to stroll down, but let's see. Let's go to But let's go down to the Jets. Breece Hall says he wants every team to know who number 20 is.
When you look back at that now, are you surprised at all by what you've been able to do since then, and how you're viewed as one of the elite running backs already in the league?
Yeah, I look back at it now and just feel like there's nothing I can't do. You know, I had a lot of long days, a lot of long nights, a lot of wondering if I was going to be the same again, and just little stuff like that. And God willing, you know, I was able to, you know, work hard enough, and it just took some time. And, you know, I feel like I'm better than ever right now. And really, to me, I haven't really done anything in this league yet. So, you know, the hype and all that stuff's there. But for me, it's just having a standard for myself to, you know, every time I step out on the field, I want to be the best player out there. I want every team to know who number 20 is. So just for me, like every week, I got to go out there with something to prove with a chip on my shoulder.
Well, we'll see. That's going to be a great game tonight. It should be. See how long Aaron Rodgers lasts. I'm rooting like hell for San Francisco. Hope to win by 50, but I'm sure that game has a chance to come down to the wire. On paper, the Jets are a very good team, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm not assuming anything. I still like the 49ers tonight. I'd lay the 3.5 or maybe buy the half a point down to 3. The total is 43.5. I don't know. To me, that screams under to me, but we shall see. Meanwhile, Robert Saleh has no new information on Hassan Reddick, who continues to hold out.
Is there anything new to report with Hassan Reddick?
No, not that I'm aware of.
In your mind, is there a deadline this week in terms of him being able to play Monday? Like, would he have to be here for Thursday's practice? Would he have to be here today? What's the deadline in your mind?
Really, it's going to be all dependent on how he looks. If and when he shows up, we'll put him through some work with the training staff, see where he's at, and then communicate with him on what we can figure out.
Next cut down, Aaron Rodgers. Now, what's interesting in this game, don't forget that new Niners defensive end Leonard Floyd is the one that knocked Aaron Rodgers out of the game last year after 4 plays. So he'll square off against Aaron Rodgers for the 11th time in his career, with 7 of those coming when Floyd played in Chicago and Rodgers in Green Bay. And Floyd has sacked Rodgers 10 times, third most of any player, but was on the losing end in 9 of those games. But here's Aaron Rodgers. He expects greatness.
Coach also said to ask you if you were playing with the chip, because we asked him.
Oh.
So he said ask Aaron.
I mean, how do you not? You know, I mean, I've always kind of played with something on my shoulder. You got to, you know, manufacture things from time to time. But, yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to the prove it. Who do I need to prove to? Just myself at this point. So, but I have a lot of pride in my performance. So when I take the field, I expect greatness. And because I've done it before, and so that's the kind of standard I hold myself to.
Not in a while. Next cut, Aaron Rodgers, cut number 1 on page 2, talks about the Jets' expectations this year.
Coach said you're in a great place. Are you in a great place? And what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, the mental part of it is the most important part. You know, you got to get your mind right. It's a grind. It's, you know, a long season, a lot of ups and downs. You got to prepare yourself to really get off the wave. You know, you got to find a way to be a stability point for the team, and you know, so we're not riding the highs too much or riding the lows, because adversity's going to come at some point during the season. We got to make sure we're handling it the right way. You know, Mike McCarthy came in years ago and said what seemed to be a wild statement at the time in 2006. He said our biggest difficulty is going to be handling success. And as the years went on, I realized how important those words are. You know, we were 8-8 team his first year. Then the second year went to the NFC Championship. I think what he meant was you just can't ride the highs too high, and then the whole world's crashing down after a tough game. Regardless of what happens on Monday, we win, the headline's going to be, you know, we're going to the Super Bowl. We lose, same old Jets. So I think we need to get away from some of those outside themes and trust that the program, if it's good enough week 1, it's good enough the rest of the season. So we got to trust the process, be great competitors, show up, be professionals, and show out on the field, and let the chips fall where they may.
Now, far be it from me, Angel, to not be impartial, fair, and objective, but I will go on record as saying same old Jets. I'll go with that.
Yep.
That's just me. Joey
That's all
B
it
says,
is.
good morning, Coastal Sport. Yeah, I just you got to show it to me. You got to show it to me, Aaron Rodgers, and we'll see what happens. See if he can stay on the field. I do think he's gonna be that Jet offensive line better be ready to go tonight because that is a real good front seven for San Francisco. All right, and lastly, let's play that last cut too. This is from SNY again about Hassan Reddick has not joined the Jets. This is from SNY.
Any chance Hassan today?
Not that I'm aware of. No, been in meetings all morning. No, I don't think he's here.
So is he ruled out for Monday?
Not ruling him out yet.
How feasible is that though? Like if he were to show up at some point,
It's feasible. I mean, the opponent we're playing now just had 2 guys show up to practice, so you trust that your veterans who know how to do things the right way will get themselves ready to play.
He will not be showing up today. Tonight. He will not be showing up. No question about it. All right, before we get to some college stuff, I wanted to go back over, Angel. I haven't been able to talk to you since the Eagles won. Thrilling game, by the way, 34-29 over the Packers, and Jordan Love goes down. He's going to be out at least a month, it seems, with a sprained or whatever MCL. It could have been a lot worse. It looked like he was done for the year. But overall, Angel, you're an Eagles fan. I told you that Saquon Barkley was going to have 2 touchdowns. I was wrong. He had 3. He was no question. They looked like a different team with him in there. 109 yards rushing on 24 carries, a couple of touchdowns rushing, and then obviously receiving. He had 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown, looking really good. Jalen Hurts looked good, pretty good most of the time. Couple of clunkers. He had 2 interceptions, but he also had 2 touchdowns, 278 yards, and I thought the Eagles did a great job. They didn't get flustered when things weren't going their way. They were down early in the game, 6-0. It was 19-17 at halftime, but I liked their resolve in the second half, Angel. And that field was absolutely abysmal at Neo Quimica Arena. The NFL should be ashamed of themselves for putting these players in conditions like that. It was awful. Slip, slide, and everybody. Both teams lost big time yaks because they couldn't get to. They were just slipping, and every time it seemed anybody cut, you go down. But let me hear you're a big Eagles fan, obviously. Your overall thoughts. You had to be happy with the win. A win is a win. Certainly things to improve on, but impressive win, I thought, by the Philadelphia Eagles. They erased a lot of bad memories from how that season ended last year, don't you think?
No. They didn't.
No,
they didn't.
They didn't?
They didn't erase. No, they didn't. Because
What do you mean?
they didn't. Because, again, you should have been out there as far as the first team during preseason because there was a couple of botched snaps, and some of these guys were not on the same sheet of music. I'll take the win, but I'm far from impressed as far as what the Eagles can end up doing. And you still look back and forth at Jalen and Nick. You are not, no one is going to tell me that these 2 clowns at the moment, and I will call them clowns because they're friggin' Eagles.
Wow.
Those 2 right now are not on the same sheet of music. Nowhere even near it. I think Jalen and Kellen Moore are on the same sheet of music, not Jalen and friggin'.
But that's more. It's almost more important. Kellen Moore's the offensive coordinator,
right?
So it's maybe look. All I know is Saquon Barkley makes a gigantic difference for you guys. I thought he would. There's no question. You guys host Atlanta next week, a dome team coming to a very, I'm sure, going to be a hostile crowd. And if Kirk Cousins plays like he did yesterday against Pittsburgh, you guys will win 50-10.
You would think. You would think.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Joey B says it's 7:15 here in Boulder. Shadir Sanders is still walking away. Well, we're going to get to that. That was a beautiful game by Nebraska the other day. I mean, the college football, which we'll get to. But go ahead, Ninja. I want to hear your thoughts on the Eagles.
I think for the NFL, and if they knew, the one thing that's kind of really irritating me with the whole thing in Brazil, God bless the folks that went out there that spent all kinds of crazy money and made the trip and the whole 9 yards. But if you knew that during the day, because it's considered winter down in Brazil, if you know during the day, the field conditions are a lot better than it is at nighttime. Obviously, the big temperature drop makes a world of difference, and they couldn't get the field right. I don't know if that had put Kitty Litter down in order to make it grip any better, but I think they changed 9 different sets of cleats that they brought from the NFL, and no matter which ones they changed, one or the other, it didn't make a difference. I'm more than happy that New York Giants fans are pissed off at Saquon Barkley and the game that he had. But I think the NFL, if you're going to do something like this again, you really, really better figure out how to do this, because I know the next destination, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Australia, which will be one hell of a thing they're trying to put together if that's where the next move's going to end up being. I think the Eagles played fair. Again, I'm not boasting anything whatsoever, because you look at Kirk Cousins, you just brought up with Atlanta. The Eagles are the any given Sunday definition, because even though they looked okay against Green Bay, I'm almost certain that you turn around for the Atlanta game and it goes to the home opener, which, again, in Green Bay is supposed to be the home opener, but the actual home opener at the Link. If the Eagles were to crap the bed against the Falcons, you can forget about it. Now,
I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
I hope not, but it's just this team. I'm going to keep saying it until eventually Nick Sirianni hears me. You need to put this team together during preseason. And it showed. It was the same way when we look at week 1 of last year. Same thing. Even Debbie said it when we were watching the game, that you can just tell that this O-line is just not together. I understand that Jurgens he took over for Kelsey, but I'm not to the point where I'm like, whoo, we got a tremendous win. Nope. I'm okay.
Well, I'm sure I was feeling you, because the first 2 possessions right of the Eagles, they turned the ball over, but it only led to 6 points, thank goodness. So that's somewhat of a credit. You got to credit the defense there for not caving right away. The thing with the field is there was a soccer game played by a Brazilian soccer team there 5 days ago.
Yep.
And
the
soccer players say that it's the best field that they have, that's fine, but that doesn't mean it's good for NFL games. So it was a very slippery start there.
Joey B says he wants to know how long before there's an NFL franchise in UK or in Germany in 5 years. I think it'd be less than that, Joey B.
I don't think so, because there was always about Jacksonville going there. They were doing that whole renovation project. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The one team that was always rumored to be going there was Jacksonville. That ain't happening. They're redoing that entire stadium, that entire area. So it's just I don't see it. I don't see it in the next 5 years anyway. All right, Angel, I'm going to ask you, if we can, to close out the show a little bit, a couple of video highlights here. There were some great games over the weekend in college football. I want to scroll down, and it's going to be a ways, because this happened on Saturday. I'm trying to find it for you. Yes, it's right underneath. It's right underneath football's craziest moments. This is the NIU radio call with the win over Notre Dame in South Bend.
Is it 393?
It's under Shooter McGavin. NIU's local radio call over the win over Notre Dame is electric.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country. He's lining.
It's a great call.
Did you pay attention to that clock? Watch how quick it goes from 5 to 1. Watch.
Okay. Up 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked!
Did you see it?
Yeah. That could be, I don't know if that could be a video issue. You know what I'm saying? That there's some sort of delay there. After the game, it scrolled 2 down. My buddy John Fanta there. Thomas Hammock with the emotional press conference. This was awesome. No, that's Billy O'Brien. Down. John Fanta, right there. This is, we'll get to Billy O'Brien afterwards in a second. But, John, this is Thomas Hammock, the head coach of Northern Illinois. This is outstanding.
Yeah, it was a good speech.
Coach, I can sense that you need a moment. Top 5 opponent. This is NIU's first win against a top 10 opponent ever. And for people who need context, you wore this jersey. It's deep for you. Why?
You know, I'm so proud of our kids, the coaches, just everybody. They believed. They believed. And we came here and got it done.
You told your guys this week that you didn't need anyone to be a superhero or superhuman. They just needed to be their best. What kind of performances did you see out there?
They listened to what I said. I told them all week, we don't need luck. We just got to be our best. And they was their best today, and we was able to get it done.
Where's this emotion coming from for you?
You know, all these guys that have been with our program, been through the ups and downs, and they continue to fight. Yeah. You know, it's like they my kids. I'm happy for the adversity to push through. But, you know, no matter the situation, I just couldn't be more proud. I'm sorry.
No need to be sorry. Boneyard wins is what you call it when you all beat a top 5 opponent, a power 5 opponent. There was 70,000 people in here that probably didn't believe. Why did you all believe?
We got a veteran team, a bunch of guys that have been through a lot of different things, and they work together. Like we still are in college football. I know it's a whole bunch of other things with the transfer portal and NIL. We still have a family, and they believe in that family in doing things the right way. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Congrats, Coach. Go celebrate.
Thank you. Hey.
That is great stuff from Coach right there. I mean, honestly, I was watching that live when it happened, and Thomas Hammock, just amazing. And I hope to God Northern Illinois wins the MAC, and if they do, they have a good shot to get into the playoff as a group of 5 team. And wouldn't it be something? Notre Dame can still get in. They probably have to come close to winning out. They're going to have to beat Louisville. They're going to have to beat USC, among other teams. And wouldn't it be something, as fate would have it, if they ever got to play again in the college football playoff? I'm kind of sort of rooting for that, although I always root against Notre Dame. It would be really, really fat. That'd be a great story.
Yep, it would be.
If that occurred. Now, scroll one more down, Angel. From that to this, in case you missed it, our good friend, Connor Stalions, right? Just watch this video, and then I will explain the situation. Connor Stalions coaching high school football. Yes, the one that was allegedly sign stealing in Michigan. Watch this. Okay, so let me explain. He thought it was only 3rd down. It was 4th down. But get this. They lost in his head coaching debut 60-0. Not 6, 6-0 to nothing. Connor Stalions. Good job. Excellent job. It is absolutely unbelievable. Meanwhile, Boston College, if we could scroll 2 more up, Angel, Boston College, Billy O'Brien, they clobbered Duquesne like they should have, 56-0. And afterwards, he talked about it.
On the TV broadcast, they mentioned that you showed clips of FBS teams beating FCS teams pretty handedly.
I never showed one clip.
Okay, yes.
Not one time. I don't know where they got that from. They didn't get it from me.
Interesting. Okay,
You'll always get the truth from me.
No, that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
they said that on the TV.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know the difference between FBS, FCS, NCIS, CIA. I have no idea. I just know that Duquesne is a tough football team, and we had to be ready to play them. And I never showed one clip of any of that. Never.
Coach, one question that
on the
TV broadcast,
Billy O'Brien, and they have a huge game this week at Missouri. Huge week at Missouri this week. A couple more. If we could, this is one right a couple above that, above the NIU call. This is a play that happened not last week, but I just want you to watch this play. Then I'll explain. It's under football's greatest moments. Just watch it.
And then a terrible snap. Smith is going to have to go all the way back. He didn't secure it. It's still loose. It's still loose. Rolling all the way back. This ball is still loose inside the 20. Who wants the football? It is finally recovered by Louisiana Tech back at the 7. If you said this first half was bananas, that play summarizes it all. Loss of 87 yards before Powell finally gets on it.
So what that all means is that sets up a 3rd and 93 for Louisiana Tech. 3rd and 93.
Good Lord.
3rd and 93. Never seen anything like that. I'm sorry, what?
They'll get the first down.
That is absolutely hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. Let me see. Is there anything else that we can do today? Let's see.
Rick, by the way, had a comment earlier. Where was it? After Joey B. I did see it. All due respect to Bears fan Mrs. Martinez. How in the hell did he pull off that win off? Defense.
All right. Lastly, let's go. I just tweeted out, Angel, underneath the show is, give it a second here. It is Deion Sanders. It is Deion Sanders after the loss to Nebraska. I mean, he finally took his sunglasses off midway through a late first quarter, early second quarter. They got pounded. Nebraska kicked the shit out of them, just like Texas kicked the shit out of Michigan, which was actually worse. But Nebraska just all over Coach Prime. I told you that team ain't winning more than 4 games this year. Go ahead.
First off, how is it that still zero comment from his son walking away with 2 minutes and the entourage that went along with him in the locker room?
It was a bad look. I thought it was
let's
a
just
real
address
bad.
the elephant in the room. I can only speak with y'all for a few minutes tonight because Child Protective Services is going to track me down for what happened to Shedeur tonight. Shedeur was getting hit so hard. I half expected gold rings to start shooting out of his body. Anyway, tonight is just the latest example that having Shedeur and Travis Hunter on this roster is like parking a Lamborghini in front of a double wide. All right, let's just address the elephant in
What?
Yeah, and
what the hell is that all about?
I don't know. He did another thing where he just, you tip your hat to Nebraska, but they were out of that game. I mean, you could just see it initially. They were all over his son and crushed him. Love what Nebraska did. Great job, Matt Rule. They didn't do a lot in the second half, but the damage was already done. And I just tell you, I think Colorado, they lose 28-10. It felt like it was a lot worse. In that game. But you had Dylan Raiola pass for 185 yards and a touchdown. And the smothering defense of Nebraska was too much. They were up 28-0 at halftime. And Colorado was never back in it. Never. You never, ever thought that they were back in it. Shedeur Sanders got sacked 5 times. They pressured him throughout the whole game as well. And they're going to be in trouble. The Colorado Buffaloes are going to be in trouble. They're at Colorado State this week. They should win that game. Colorado State is god-awful. But it is one of those rivalry games. Who knows? And then they're home against Baylor at UCF, home against Kansas City. I don't see after next week how they win. I think they're probably going to win less than 4 games this year. I don't see how they do it. I do not see how they do
Got
it.
to be the honest to God dumbest explanation I've ever heard. Nothing against Dion, but what double wide Lamborghini freaking? If that's the case, why don't you say it's like parking a Yugo inside of an electric vehicle?
I don't know. It is what it is, Angel. It is what it is. I will be at the game here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Come on, Pete. Show my CSU Rams some love. I hope your CSU Rams kick the crap out of them. But that's a bad football team. Or I should say they played very poorly the last time I saw them. But they got creamed. There are a lot of good games this week. There are a lot of good games. Pete, please adopt my Rams as your upset special of the week, huh? Well, let me see what the line's going to be. I don't know what the line is yet. So maybe. We'll see. Maybe my upset special of the week. Why not? Why not? All right, Angel. So you're coming up in just a little bit here at the top of the hour with Martinez and company. And we got shows throughout the day here. Tomorrow, we'll have a full slate of guests today. It's so much going on. I just want to get all this out on the video. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, the Mia Hamm story. O'Brien story is funny. I forgot to tell you that she's going to be on tomorrow or Wednesday. But as I told her, I sent her a text and I said, you're going to have to post bond at some point today for Tyreek Hill. She was laughing and said back to me, she had a problem getting her credential. They screwed it up, the Jaguar, but she eventually did get in. But, those kind of horror stories have happened to everybody. But she was laughing when I told her she has to post bond. I told her to say hi to Drew Rosenhaus for us all as well. Anyway, full guest list tomorrow coming up. Angel, I will text you later with that list. Have a great show today, my friend. And a great job today producing this whole thing as well and chiming in. It's been great. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Martinez and company coming up at 10 a.m. this morning right here on the Coastal Sports Network. Bye.